Give me a teenage survivor of an unfathomable crime inflicted by the community leader that everyone adores. Her biggest trial would not just be surviving, but finding her voice. In this contemporary unfolding of drama, she would learn that her words can either maim or save. Are you ready?
The Books and Vogue podcast. Come get your favorite next book here. The Books and Vogue podcast with Catherine Brad.
Welcome, book lovers, to the Books on Vogue podcast. This is your premier listening experience all about immersive reading and helping avid and reluctant readers alike imagine book characters like never before. I'm your host, Kat Trinidad. The format of the show is I introduce a book, share tips on how you can engage your senses as you read this title, because it's one thing to be a mood reader, but you get a little something extra from the story when you are set the mood reader. And finally, I will end the show with a reimagining of my favorite scene. Today, we will discuss techniques for getting into all the fighting parts by Hannah D. Sawyerr with fellow bookster grandma Isatta. Hey, dear B, love me. Welcome, Isatta.
Thank you so much, Kat.
Please tell us about the book.
Okay, so All the Fighting Parts is about a 16-year-old girl. Her name is Amina Conte. Amina is very vivacious, very outspoken. She is not the girl you expect to be quiet and hold her tongue. So when she suddenly becomes that withdrawn person who is scared to speak and is no longer upfront, is no longer outgoing and is more aloof, her boyfriend, her best friend, and her father work together to unfold what caused her to become withdrawn and how to move forward.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for that, Isatta. Do you care to join me in a discussion of some tips for setting a reading mood?
Oh, absolutely. I am here for all the fighting and quiet parts of this discussion.
Well, okay, book lovers, I hope you have your writing utensils ready because class is in session.
Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it. Ah. Hear it, see it, smell it, sense it, taste it, touch it.
The Books and Vogue podcast.
So, Isatta, what is the vibe? How can we engage our spirit as we read this book?
Okay, so this book is giving. Follow me here, okay? African church, after like the third, fourth hour of you having this auntie and this uncle talk to you about school, life, whatever is going on, and you really are just wondering, number one, how are you going to finish writing that paper that's due tomorrow that you haven't started on? And number two, how are you going to get money to get the new sneakers that you saw your best friend have? That's what this is giving.
Okay. So, what's the sound of all the fighting parts? What keynotes in music or nature can set the tone as we read this novel?
Okay, so as far as the sound musically, it would be Burn by El Golding. And as far as nature, it would be lava rolling down a mountain.
Oh, okay. So, do share the aesthetics. This can be any visuals aside from the book, such as lighting.
Okay, so aesthetically, we're thinking of entering in a coffee shop, not Barnes and Noble. It has to be one of those like mom pop, preferably black owned, but we can do what we want to do. Everyone's entitled to do what they want to do. Coffee shop scene, coffee shop slash bookshop, and you're just there journaling your day, getting through the day-to-day process because, like Amina, you have to be able to write down your thoughts or they'll take you away.
Okay. So, what's the flavor? Any food or drink companions for this title?
Hmm. The flavor wise, I would say like a grapefruit is the Izzy drink, but grapefruit. So it's refreshing, but it's tart. And because it has all of the bubbles, we'll call them the bubbles, it kind of gets you in the back of the throat. But it goes down smooth eventually, but it gets you first.
Okay, okay. I can feel that. I can feel that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
what's the aroma? Are there any smells to transport us into the pages?
For aroma, it's kind of a mixture. So you have the old church pew smell, but you also have the new journal smell going on simultaneously. So essentially, you're cracking open a brand new journal that you just bought at Target, not counting the ones you already haven't opened, but you're in church and you're trying to sneak it so they don't hear it. So you smell both.
Speaking my language with the journals there.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
So how can we get more of the feels?
So for me, how I get more of the feels. I'm under two blankets, okay? And I have headphones on because certain types of books, I am a self-acclaimed trauma whore myself. Certain types of books bring out the trauma. So since I know I'm already gonna cry, let me be in a warm cocoon. So something is holding me. And let me have both my ears plugged in with soft music as I read the book. So that this way the music is just going to cue the tears and the book is going to let me continue and the blanket's just going to hold.
I like that. Whew,
We make it work.
get cocooned up. Get ready for
Hmm.
them tears to start flowing.
All of them. All of them.
Well, there you go, book lovers. These are your recommended supplies as you read this title. If you're able, pause and get some of these if available, or simply imagine because it's time for my favorite scene. Disclaimer, please note that exact words, names, locations, and/or scenarios mentioned in this reimagined reenactment may differ from the actual book. Sharing my favorite scenes, I reenacted though, imagining the fiction world that I've been reading of. Going from all the things, I just gave you a list. Come experience all the senses as protagonists. And it don't get more real than this. Immersive read with books on both and live vicariously. Caged Bird, page 18, starring Isatta as Amina and Bowcut, and Kat Trinidad as the narrator. Anyone walking in my shoes will understand why Bowcut, wannabe history whiz, should have shut his not so smart ass mouth. Anyone will understand why I respond by saying,
You don't have to act out because your mom's been giving you the same tired ass haircut since pre-K. Bowl cut.
anyone in my position would understand why Bowcut should have quit while he was ahead. Instead, he says,
I think Amina is grappling with the idea that she doesn't have to take everything so personally.
anyone will understand why I respond by throwing a highlighter. I probably borrowed from him while words flew right out of my mouth like I am a caged bird. But instead of learning how to sing, I learned how to holler.
I think this asshole is GRAPPLING with the fact that I don't give a fuck.
Book lovers, I hope you have enjoyed this sneak peek. You can get more by reading the whole book, All the Fighting Parts. It's available at your local library and everywhere books are sold. And if it's not, request it because you deserve to read all the books that interest you. And if you have already read All the Fighting Parts or are in the middle of reading it, let me know in the comments what you'd like to do to set the mood for reading because I would love to hear from you. So please leave your feedback. Isatta, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners?
Absolutely. So this book holds a special place in my heart. Hannah Sawyer is Sierra Leonean, Sierra Leonean American. I am Sierra Leonean, minus the American because I'm not a citizen. However, we're both survivors of something so dangerous and so difficult and so hard to deal with at a young age. And if any of the readers have gone through this, number one, this is your trigger warning. Number two, please do your best to take care of yourself. But number three, and most important, never, ever, ever stop telling your story. Even if someone tells you you're too loud, even if someone tells you you should get over it, continue to tell your story because there's more people like you who have yet to tell theirs.
That's powerful. Thank you so much. Thank you again, Isatta, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you, book lovers, for listening. With peace, love, and joy, happy reading.
The Books and Vogue podcast. Come get your favorite next book here. The Books and Vogue podcast. With Catching Red. Subscribe, listen, check out recommendations, and happy reading.